Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jacksonville Joe here. We holding it down. Hope everybody's having a good day. Let me know what's up with y'all in the comments. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, tap the bell, all that, man. We hanging out. Alright, man, we got April G. Showers with the hardest piece she's ever written. So Can You by April G. This is spoken word, so we're going to jump into it, man, and see what's up. If y'all haven't heard of April G. Showers, she's a reaction channel. Go check her channel out. She's got a bunch of reactions. She does live streams, stuff like that. So she hit me up, asked me can I react to it. So here we are, man. Shout out to April G for the request. Let's go.
What up, YouTube fam? It's April G. Showers back at y'all with a poem. I just wrote this last night. I'm doing something a little different with this one. It is called So Can You. But this poem is not a whole lot different than what I normally write, but I go into detail about the school shooting, which I have never done before in a piece of writing of mine. Never. I've never done that. I didn't know whether to just...
Alright, I heard the story behind the school shooting when you told it on your channel, so I know where this is going. So it's going to be deep, y'all. Buckle up.
Read it or whatever. But I picked out some music to go in the background with it, and I'm gonna do like spoken word with music in the background, and it's a lot harder than it looks, y'all, so just bear with me. This is very difficult for me to do. I hope y'all like it. I hope it helps someone. So yeah, it's called So Can You. It took me a little over 2 hours to write. Very difficult piece. Hope y'all like it. April G. Squad. This bump.
This bump.
It's good. I have not watched the news since November of '95, when the school shooting happened and my best friend didn't survive. It was a Wednesday morning, just a normal school day, around 7:50 a.m. when we heard shots in the hallway. At first we thought it was a prank, some kid just acting dumb, setting off firecrackers. Then everybody started to run. My best friend and I were in the hall. She had just bent down to get water from the fountain. Then again we heard that sound. He had just shot 2 teachers in the other hallway, then rounded the corner.
That's gotta be fucking hard, man. You know, you think you just going to school on a normal day, talk to your friends, go do your work, you know, hit the cafeteria, hang out for a little bit, go back to the class, then head home later, and then, you know, all like, damn, man, that's wild.
And held the rifle up to aim. His target was another teacher standing by me and my friend. He aimed and took his shot and hit her by accident. I glanced down the hallway. There he stood in a black trench coat. My best friend stood up from the fountain, her eyes widened as she grabbed her throat. I just stood there in shock. She fell down to the ground. Kids were running and screaming. I'll never forget that sound. That teacher was yelling at us all, everyone to the lunchroom. The double doors slammed shut. No one knew what to do. 2 teachers and a student tackled him to the ground, took the rifle away, and just held him down. He was basically my neighbor. We all rode the bus together.
Damn.
Little did we know the day before that our lives would soon change forever. I remember getting back.
Yo, that's what I was just saying earlier, man. You just think it's a normal day at school and shit just goes fucking south, man. Crazy as shit. That's fucked up how just like shit like that just comes out of nowhere.
On the bus, just staring out the window, wondering if she was alright the entire way back home. The next thing I remember, I was sitting on the couch, listening to the news and radio with my mom in our house. Miss Foster passed away. Miss Yancey survived. A gunshot wound to the head. Still in shock, I not cried. I just sat there waiting for an update on my friend. With every news report I heard, I thought, is this really happening? All of a sudden, on the radio, I heard them say her name. I quickly muted the TV so I could hear what they were saying. Please, God, let her be alright. Please say that she's stable. I'll never forget those words. Dying college just out on the operating table. I just sat there in complete shock. Didn't even shed a tear. We didn't go to school the next day. I was filled with so much fear. 2 days later, couldn't get on the bus because my friend was gone. So my mom drove me to school. I felt so scared and alone. I remember.
That's tough, man. You go through something like that, yeah, you'd be terrified to go back to school. Probably not want to leave the fucking house ever again.
I remember pulling up to the school, seeing the yellow crime scene tape. News reporters and cameras everywhere. My whole body began to shake. Then I walked in the front door, so quiet you could hear a pin drop. It felt like a living nightmare. I started crying and couldn't stop. That entire day at school, all any of us did was cry. No counseling, no therapy. We all just wondered why. See, back then that didn't happen, so no one knew what to do. We never talked about it. My life became unglued. I always wanted to be a teacher ever since I was a little girl. That day changed all of that. Hell, it changed my entire world.
Yeah, I bet yo, that's fucked up, man. Like, that shit is, damn. So she was listening to the radio, waiting to hear what they had to say. Then her name come across, said she died on the operating table. That's fucked up.
I began having flashbacks, daily panic attacks. Didn't feel safe anymore, wanted my friend and my life back. Diagnosed with PTSD, the anxiety I could not escape. Didn't know how to handle it, so I began to self-medicate. Started smoking weed at 16, felt some relief at last. It helped me to not have to feel the pain and grief from my past. Smoked it daily over 10 years and started trying new things. Being an addict was never a thought, or the consequences it brings. Got pregnant.
Started trying new things. Being an addict was never a thought, and I didn't think of the consequences that it brings. Like, that's facts, man. When people fuck around with drugs, they never think they're gonna get addicted. Never in a million years will I get addicted to this. No way. I'm just trying it out. It's fun. It's recreational. And the next thing you know you're doing bad.
Pregnant in 07, and I quit it all. I did it for my child though, and never thought I would fall. Had to have a C-section. The doctor gave me a prescription. I took them like I should at first. It quickly turned into addiction. Fast forward, nearly 4 years later, was taken.
Yo, alright, so listen. Some people don't know this, but once you're an addict, you're always an addict. There's no such thing as a ex-addict. You will always be a recovering addict. For the rest of your life, you'll be a recovering addict. No matter what drug it is you're messing with. Same as alcohol. If you're an alcoholic, you'll be an alcoholic for the rest of your life. You can quit drinking, but if you still want to fall back to it, you're always going to be an alcoholic. You'll be a recovering alcoholic, but you know what I'm saying, when it comes to addiction, alcoholism, there's no such thing as recovered. There's always recovery. You're always in recovery. You know what I'm saying? There's no, I'm a recovered this or that. Like, I'm a recovering addict. I'm a recovering alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no such thing as recovered.
40 to 60 a day. I finally realized I had a problem when the taking 40 to 60 a day. I finally realized I had a problem when the choice was ripped away. I was a functioning addict, a nurse, a mom, paid my bills. No one knew how bad it was. My best friend was the pills. My phone rang in 04. It was my dad with some news. He said they found something on my little brother's brain. My mind I was about to lose. We went to a lot of doctors trying to find the answer. We were all devastated when they said, "We're so sorry, it's brain cancer." At that time, my brother was just 11. I had not had my son yet, so I just take more and more, so the pain I could forget. He then went into remission. But me, I stayed addicted. I was so angry at God, I felt I deserved to be afflicted. So anyway, back to 2011, my son was then 3. I finally swallowed my pride and talked to my family. I went to rehab.
That's tough, man. That's real tough. It's hard to swallow your pride, man. Your pride is the hardest pill you ever gonna swallow. So that's facts right there. So I finally swallowed my pride.
That August, so ashamed and full of guilt. But I knew I had to do it, so my life I could rebuild. I was there for 3 months, missed my son's 4th birthday. Felt like such a failure, but I stayed there anyway. By then,
That feeling you had that day is one of the main reasons that you turned your life around. So the feeling of feeling like a failure, like you failed your son, like you felt embarrassed, you felt hurt, you felt all kinds of different emotions that day. You were also going through withdrawals probably from the drugs if you were still in the rehab. You know what I'm saying? So that day, the feelings you felt that day are some of the main reasons that you're still doing good now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like sometimes it takes that. It takes that sometimes for people to really get that sudden realization that I gotta fucking stop fucking up. I got little people looking up at me. I got family members who depend on me and love me. It takes that shit sometimes, man. So, you know, shout out to April G for turning her life around.
then my little brother was 17, and the cancer had come back. God, what else can possibly happen? Can you please cut me some slack? I came home that October. Everything felt so strange. Been addicted to drugs over 15 years. My whole life had to change. I got a sponsor, worked the steps, and it changed and saved my life. But recovery hasn't.
She says she got a sponsor, worked the steps, and it changed her life. The sponsor and the steps, okay, NA and AA. You go in and there's steps you take. Your first step is basically admitting that you're an addict, and you'll pick up a white chip from most places. I had a cousin in NA, and I would go to the AA meetings with him too, so you know what I'm saying. And but yeah, the steps are the steps you take along the way, and the sponsor is who you call when you're like you feel like you're gonna fall off the wagon or whatever it is. Like you hit them up like, yo, I'm having a tough time, and they'll usually talk you off the edge or do their best to, you know what I'm saying. Like my cousin, man, his sponsor used to come get him and shit. They go right out to the beach together or whatever and just go hang out. I'm like, all right, man, that's what's up.
Been easy, been through much pain and strife. My little brother passed away, watched him take his last breath. Thought nothing would be worse than the shooting and my best friend's death. But boy, was I so wrong. I just wanted to be dead. So 6 months after he died, I put a gun to my head. The only thing that stopped me from killing myself that night was the thought of my son and mom finding me, so I knew I had to fight. I put the gun up and fell to my knees.
Facts, man. She said the thought of her son or her mom finding her is what changed her mind on wanting to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think too, you know, not just them finding you, that you weren't going to be here for your son if you did that. So the fact that you didn't do it and you decided to go another way with it was a great decision. Somebody was looking out for you that day, and it's good you're still around, because you're still around for your family, you're still around for your son, so all that, man. Let's go.
Crying out to God for help. God, please let me know my brother's okay. Help me to help myself. I'd been up over 48 hours, so I laid on my left side in bed. I was half asleep, half awake, still wishing I was dead. When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I felt someone's hand grab my right shoulder. I was confused, trying to understand. Then I saw my little brother's beautiful eyes, so bright and blue. Up in the clouds, I felt him hug me, and I knew God had answered my prayer and let me know he was okay. I sat up crying tears of comfort for the first time since he passed away. I then went back to nursing. Not gonna lie, it was hard, but I knew it's what I needed to do to get me out of the dark. Then a year later got a call. My big brother was very ill. I thought, here we go again. Is this seriously God's will? I then watched him take his last breath, February 2018. Why's my family going through this? It was so hard to stay clean. Then I began having medical issues, could not work anymore, lost my home, my peace of mind, and just cried out, why me, Lord? My son and I moved in with my mom. I was in a state of bad depression, stayed isolated in my room, writing in music was my therapy session. Then I found these things called reactions while binge watching YouTube. Loved every minute of it and thought, this is something I could do. However, I was very hesitant due to my physical looks, my age, my teeth, just everything. So my head, I just shook.
Fuck them, April. Fuck what they talking about, man. Let that shit roll off your back like fucking rain on a duck's back. You know what I'm saying? Water on a duck's back. Let that shit roll off, man. Fuck what they talking about. I understand what you're saying, though. Like I said, man, it takes more than people realize to do this shit day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? People who watch and they're like, yeah, that's easy, I could do that. And it's like, yeah, it's something that certain people could do. But, you know, there's other shit that comes along with it. You got trolls, haters, over opinionated spectators. And just all kinds of shit. Then you got your good subscribers, supporters, fans, all that too. So, but yeah, I understand what you're saying, man. Like, you was worried about appearance before you came in. You was worried somebody might see you and start picking on you or something like that. Me, I just grew up different. I never really cared about that. Like, I wondered, like, oh, damn, am I gonna have to roast on somebody for trying to get on me and shit, you know? But when it comes down to it, man, fuck them. You did your thing, and you still here.
But I kept on watching them. No Life Shack was my inspiration. Then went to a live stream one night, and that chat and script work were my motivation. Then November 10th, I did my first reaction. I was so very nervous, but it brought me satisfaction. Now here it is 6 months later, and I am now APRILGSHOWERS. Never thought this could happen by just watching YouTube for hours. I never thought I'd be a 40-year-old YouTuber with nearly 3K subs. So if you're feeling hopeless, I'm proof of what can happen by not giving up. Right. Yes, I have many haters. I'm told daily I'm wasting my time. But I know I'm doing what I'm meant to do, and no one...
Nah, you ain't wasting your time. Keep grinding, man. That's people who ain't doing nothing telling you that.
However, change my mind. So if you're feeling alone, depressed, lost, and worthless, I've been there as well, and I promise you have a purpose. Don't listen to the negativity. Always keep pushing through. I guess what I'm trying to say is if I can do it, so can you.
Facts. Facts. There you go, man. You just heard April G's whole story. Everything she been through in her life, all the ups and downs. She saw something. She thought she could do it. She went for it, and now she's doing it. So, like she said, if she can do it, so can you. If I can do it, so can you. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter who it is, man. It's basically like if you see something, go get it. You know what I'm saying? If you want it, go get it. Ain't nothing standing in your way except for you. Go get it.
That was very difficult. I'm like shaking. So that was so can you. Did the best I could. I hope y'all.
Alright, so we used to rap a lot back in the day, man. I go in the strip club, they throw me the mic, I would rap. But one day, the first time I ever got on stage anywhere, my right leg was shaking the whole time I was up there. So you couldn't tell because I was wearing baggy ass jeans and it wasn't full on like fucking Tourette shake and shit, but it was twitching the whole time I was up there. I was nervous as fuck. So, you know what I'm saying, that's natural. That part comes with it. And then when, you know, by the time I finally got done, which that's a funny story too. I was super drunk and I got maybe like 10 words out, and they pulled the mic on me because I had that shit like so far up to my face, it just sounded so muffled they couldn't understand nothing I was saying. So yeah, I was nervous. They pulled the mic on me, and I swore I did some shit that night though. I was so drunk I didn't even care. They pulled the mic. I hopped off. I'm telling my homies, "You seen I ate that shit up?" They're like, "Nah, bro, you suck." I was like, "Yeah, good point. I was drunk." But yeah, anyway, I talk too much. The shaking, yeah, like the first time I hopped on stage, I was shaking and shit. So the nervousness comes with it.
Y'all like it? I hope it helps someone.
It goes away though.
It pretty much speaks for itself. This was very, very difficult. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Be honest. Like this video on your way out. A lot more important than you think. Please subscribe to my channel. April G Squad. Fist bump. Love y'all. And I'll see y'all this weekend.
Alright, that was April G with the hardest piece she had ever wrote. So Can You by April G. This was spoken word. If she can do it, so can you. And I'm going to check y'all on the next one, man. If y'all haven't heard of April G, go check her channel out. Alright, I'm out.